We're playing Marathon all night long. Oh.
Marathon was always going to look good on Twitch. Big streamers, big marketing, brand new Bungie game. But the people who decide whether a game is going to survive long term, obviously it's not the streamers. It's the casual friend groups that decide, hey, this is going to be our one game for the next 6 months. And that's where Marathon gets interesting, because creators and everyday players are looking at this totally differently.
If you can have fun on a new game on day one, I don't care if it's Marathon or Goon Simulator 5.
A streamer who plays a game 8 hours a day is eventually going to get bored. Their audience rewards them for entertaining content, and a streamer knows if they don't bring the energy or they seem like they're getting bored, the viewers are going to notice and they're going to get bored too.
It's an FPS, you can snipe, it's a well-polished game that's about to come out in the big 2026, and y'all still complain. I will say this for the Marathon devs, shut the up. Like, shut the up. Like, genuinely, bro.
A game like Marathon, which is fast, an extraction shooter, it has a really cool, stylish vibe, high stakes with gear fear, and really repeatable runs. It's naturally a good fit for streamers. Bungie is also positioning this as what's called a live service game. And so in this case, that means there are seasons, they last about 3 months. Everyone's progression resets each season. And also future updates are supposed to add like large amounts of new, fresh content. So weapons and shells, in-game events, new maps, things like that.
If you want to spend the next 7 hours typing in chat about how much you hate Marathon and be miserable, sure. But I would highly recommend, instead of being miserable for 7 hours, having fun for 7 hours, because we're all on a floating rock and we're gonna die. So
most people are not going to get burned out as fast as a streamer does on a game. They're probably in the middle of a game when a new game comes out. And so they react to new games with a different mindset. These casual players, maybe they're playing a few nights a week and they're coordinating around their friends' schedules, and they're much more careful about what becomes their main game. That matters even more in extraction shooters because it's just not as casual friendly. Extraction shooter is a commitment to learn, at least.
I think you boys see that it's not too good to play this type of game on stream.
Yeah, people are definitely happy about it, that's for sure.
And this is exactly where Marathon has become divisive and the conversation has gotten a little toxic. The Bungie themselves, they make it clear that this is a team-based extraction shooter. It's about surviving runs, extracting loot, becoming stronger over time. Death is supposed to be painful. At least that's the vision for the game. But the feedback from the community is that the game is too punishing for casuals, too rough for solos, or simply too demanding to become good at the game. And especially to ask their friend group, like, hey, let's all grind this. That's why the conversation has gotten so emotional, is I think when people are arguing about Marathon, they're not only arguing about the mechanics, they're arguing about whether this is a game worth asking their friends to commit to. And because the real buy-in with games like this is not only do you need to want it for yourself, but you need your friends to want it too. Because really the moments that make these games fun are when you're playing in trios and not with random queues. And to me, that's what justifies the grind. That's what justifies the time. Players know that with games in this genre, the real question is never just like, oh, okay, $40, I'll try it out. Is this game like the people I hang out on Discord, are they actually going to play it and stick with it?
Here's the bottom line. If the game is good, people will play it. That's period. That's bottom line.
Especially because these games are only at their best when you play it with a group of 3 friends. Doing with randoms is just not how to get the most out of a game like this. And so that brings us to a broader question. Why is Marathon so often compared to ARC Raiders? Well, they're both trying to define what a more mainstream extraction shooter can be. And Arc Raiders also launched with the same positioning, the same $40 price tag, the same live service game. The bottom line is the community is not only comparing the two games, it's comparing the two models of game development. You have a giant legacy studio, Bungie, trying to launch the next big thing, and you have a newer studio trying to win players by being less corporate, being more independent, creating something entirely new. And it's not a coincidence that Bungie chose to base their game on IP from the 90s, and Arc Raiders is completely new IP. And that's why this part of the conversation feels bigger than one game release. I think what players are saying and what they're sensing is that this is the new genre, the new potentially mainstream genre. And so they want to choose the right game that they're going to spend either the next 6 months and maybe even years on. It's also worth noting that Marathon has had very visible friction points beyond the usually "do I like extraction shooters" question. Early feedback and follow-up coverage kept circling to the same issues. The UI is confusing. Some people were complaining about the inconsistency of PvP frequency, almost like there's an issue with the matchmaking. Voice chat was broken. People are debating over, like, is the time to kill too fast? And some people, they just don't like the vibe of the styling. The first time I opened the game, the mouse didn't even work.
How do you have a mouse cursor bug? At the beginning, I don't have a cursor. It's a bug because you alt tab. Yeah. You gotta be kidding me. Bro, there's no way you guys don't know that bug exists. There's no way. How do you not know that you have a UI lobby bug?
Bungie has acknowledged this, but if you look in some of the comment sections on YouTube, at least, the Marathon diehards are not acknowledging it. So on the other hand, some of the game's strongest ideas are generally interesting. One mechanic I think is particularly interesting, and it's at the core of how this game works, is how if you're playing trios and you're knocked, you're down but not out, you can be revived just like other games like Arc Raiders. But if you're fully knocked, then you can still be revived. So I think this dramatically changes how forgiving coordinated team play can feel compared to if you're playing solo.
Holy shit.
You got fucked! The hell was that? Get yourself revived real quick. I'm just hanging out. Don't mind me.
Okay,
hanging around.
Movement 101.
We're back!
I think that's might be what some people are missing when they're trying out this game by themselves. It's also what can make the fast time to kill work. So sure, you can be downed quickly, but you can almost always be revived. And that really highlights the playing as a team, playing as a trio, especially not with randoms like with your friends. So that combined with the threat of losing your gear, it's a great combination, and it feels fresh even after playing very similar games like Arc Raiders.
If you'd like, let me get the gang. Mr. Nick Merckx, how are you on this fine day?
Hello.
Hello, good sir. Hello.
My hot take on Marathon is simple. Play it with friends. With a coordinated squad, the game's speed, movement, revives, and high stakes can absolutely be as good or better than any of the other extraction shooters out there. So especially if you have a group of friends that like FPS gunplay, you like the extraction shooter genre, this is an awesome game.
Do you guys hear this sellout right now?
Sponsor.
Hashtag ad. Hashtag ad.
But if you're a solo player or your friends aren't going to change, they're settled into another game, they're not going to change, then Marathon becomes a much harder sell. And to me, that explains a lot of the backlash that we're seeing.
Shut the up.
So here's the takeaway. Anyone who cares about games as a whole getting better, they should want Marathon, Arc Raiders, and any other next wave extraction shooters to succeed. Not because every game deserves a free pass, and not because criticism is bad, but because a healthy genre needs competition. It needs new ideas, different tones, crazy vibe styling with neon green. And especially it needs multiple studios pushing on each other to make something worth obsessing over. Marathon is exposing a real divide in modern gaming, and on one hand we have streamers who can't wait to move on from the previous game,
a new game on day one.
The next one, and they're definitely rewarded for chasing the next big thing. But us casual gamers, we're selective, and that's why you see some of the hesitancy and some of the criticisms of a new game like this. And so Bungie definitely has an uphill battle because they have to keep both groups entertained. And I, for one, am glad to let them cook. And now I just need to convince my friends to play Marathon. Thanks for watching. Trying to do some more thoughtful, long-form content. If you're into that sort of thing, consider subscribing and liking this video so I know to make more. And let me know what you think of Marathon in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.